We've heard of highway robbery before, but this is the first time we're going to hear of airway robbery. Well, it is not armed in a sense, so it's still high in a nutshell. And also, we're seeing ministers being paid in shrine currency. Welcome to the morning break, where we give you the most exclusive of news. I am Abbas Muhammad.
I'm Mohammed Kabir.
As we go deeper into our stories, we will start with some, appetizers before we go into our main stories for today. Starting with the Nigerian Customers Week. The Nigerian Police Force is also celebrating Customers Week, which is bringing a lot of backlash and a lot of reactions online, because the post gained about 122,000 views within like just an hour or so. This is coming as the Nigerian Police Force was also celebrating the Customers Week, which begs the question, who exactly are the customers of the Nigerian Police Force? KB?
I don't know, maybe the Nigerian police are not selling yam and plantain. Maybe Agbado, that they have customers, they are celebrating customers, because I don't know since when Nigerian police have become an enterprise of buy and sell. They are congratulating people. And they take, we heard a few weeks ago, Nigerian, they even said they shared biscuits to prisoners and criminals. One guy was even saying that, you see, people will commit crime, you don't pay for them. Now, DPO, they celebrate Customers Week by eating biscuits, and people outside are not eating biscuits. So I don't know why would the Nigerian police be celebrating Customers Week when you guys are not selling golden money, you are not selling Cerelac. So I don't know, maybe you are celebrating the criminals. Maybe you have reached that extent. I don't know, but it's unfortunate.
And in a way, if I want to view the whole thing, I would say yes, we do. They do pay. Taxpayers do pay their taxes, and this is what funds the police department. And yes, they do provide services in the sense of they're supposed to be protecting the citizens. They're supposed to be always on call, make sure the citizens are secure. So the whole point of the Customer Service Week that most organizations, both private and government owned, the Customer Service Department is celebrating is that they are providing certain services to their customers, to their citizens. And, in a way, this is to celebrate them because of their success. They are being successful in a certain line. But then the Nigerian Police Force, if we are being honest, within the last year, within the last 2 years, and since inception, yes, they've had their highs and lows, but for this year particularly, if we can suspend the Independence Day celebrations, do we not think that even if the Nigerian Police Force are supposed to celebrate the Customer Week, they should suspend it this year for what they have done so far within the year? I mean...
Well, is it not the same police that they're looking for their vehicle, which they...
So even if they were their internal customers...
Are they being served right? Do you understand? So it is, well, they are celebrating their customers, whoever they may be. I'm not one of them. Because the average citizen isn't really benefiting from the police force as they ought to. I mean, we saw that two councillors were kidnapped, and they disarmed two policemen and took their phone.
No, seized.
They might return.
Sorry. Yes.
Took as if they kept it somewhere.
As their seniors, they actually seized the phone. So we're talking about the police force that isn't even as effective to even defend themselves. Talk less of the average lives of Nigerian citizens. Like I said, certain other Nigerians have said over time, now God they protect us, no be police, and everybody just they pray to the God, may he continue to protect us and everything. So the person that should be doing customer services is our Lord Almighty and everything. It's not police. Police has not served us anything. It's only God that has served us and has given us life, and He has made it. Well, let's just keep this thing aside. They should not vex me this morning. I'm just too angry.
Well, officially, the Customer Service Week is an annual international event dedicated to celebrating the people who serve and support their customers, occurring during the first full week of October. So perhaps other people that provide certain services are also going to celebrate. Maybe we'll see bandits also celebrating Customer Service Week. Perhaps they have their own customers that they are providing their own services to. And then moving on to our next story, where we did mention that the people of God are now being paid in shrine currency. currency. Why I say shrine currency is because certain minister, a gospel singer, Tim Godfrey, laments poor treatment of artists by churches, where he was complaining about how their payment is being received, and it comes in minimum amount, and sometimes he did lament on how he was once paid with some 2 bags of yam and a live breathing croaking chicken, which is why I mentioned shrine currency, because these are things that you go to the shrine and then they tell you to bring so amount of, or is traditional way, exactly. But then this is a man of God. These are people who go to, the whole point of the story is that he said he doesn't like coming to Nigeria because it is difficult how artists are being treated. They are being treated poorly, because these are people who go to the studio, they master their song, they sing their song. They have a talent, you understand? They have a talent, and they put a lot of effort into producing this talent. And they pay money, they put resources into creating it, and then they have to move. If they want them to perform, they come and perform these things. And it's a different thing entirely when someone is being sponsored. They were not sponsored. They made this thing out of their own money in line of their faith and what they believe in. And then to be, I don't want to say reimbursed. I want to just say in the line of giving them, pay them their worth for what the service they are being provided. These are people that should even be celebrating customers. Well, Barry, let's allow to give us the details of this story due to the fact that you're a Christian and you might not know as much, because some of the things here online is that some people online say they are not actually supposed to even be paid in the first place, that they should be providing services for free. They are people of God, and some people say no, these people provide services and they should be paid.
We talk about pastors, right? And they said pastors are eating offering and tithes. Please tell me where he is supposed to get food from. Not be where you get what you will chop. Ministers of God are ministering. You say that is their work, that's their profession. Where do you expect them to be paid? Is it not while ministering? Is it not from their ministering work? And then say for the people that are coming out to say that it's not true, can you call, you're not supposed to, please let's go back to the Bible, because it's like you guys are missing things. So back to Nehemiah 11, right? Because they will say, it's a new age thing, these people are coming up with this, they want to extort us, these people, they don't want to do. Back in the Bible days, the overseer, in Nehemiah 11:22, the overseer also of the Levites of Jerusalem was Uzzah, the son of Bani, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micah. Of the sons of Asaph, the singers were over the business of the house of God. For it was the king's commandment concerning them that a certain portion should be for the singers, due for every day. That means they were paid every day. These singers were paid every day. So now they come and then they want to water down our musicians, our gospel artists, and say that they shouldn't be paid. Your regular artists, don't you fund their lifestyles? You didn't come and say, okay, because they did it for passion. Because some people will say that, I'm doing this thing for passion. All those ones that were saying that we're doing this for passion, have you ever paid them with passion before? Like, is it your chairs that has ever paid their... You pay tickets for their concerts. You pay. So if you are willing to give this to secular artists, why not people who even bless you spiritually, that lift you up spiritually? Why do we penny pinch when it comes to these people and then think that, because at the end of the day, that your shots no go buy anything for market for them? Your 1 million rounds of applause will not buy anything in the market for them. Sister Chinyere go still collect cash, and she na sister for church. You go collect cash, you no go collect praise the Lord. So please, they deserve to be paid, and a laborer is worthy of his wages if they have put in the effort to sing this song. If you don't want to pay them, then don't call them. You can actually as well stream their songs online. Nobody is forcing you. But if you will call them and to minister to you, then you have to pay the laborer his wages. That's all.
Well, you've gotten the full details of this story from Barry, and it just states to you how people should really definitely be appreciated, for the services that they provide and they render. And the opinions do not matter. These people house themselves, they feed themselves, they transport themselves, and they have to survive. Yes, someone is on the act of God. yes, someone is focusing on his faith, that does not mean that person should not also live life, because you don't not just sacrifice one for the other. No, there is a balance that can be created, and these people should be treated better. And on to our next story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has pardoned 175 Nigerians, including the late Herbert Macaulay. And now this is a controversial story, especially once you heard the name Herbert Macaulay. It's very, I wouldn't say it's funny, but it goes down the history lane. For those of us who grew up, seeing coins, and when coin was still a legal tender in Nigeria, I don't know if it's still a legal tender today, but we always see him on the 1 naira coin. He's always saying the iconic mustache. He's always there on his way. But then people are wondering, why is the president pardoning someone that is late and something as far back as the colonial period and colonial times? And it's there in the story. Full story goes, it comes from the pardoning and clemency from the National State Council. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu granted the posthumous presidential pardons to the late nationalist Herbert Macaulay, a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and late Major General Mamman Bassa, and a couple of other, we did say about 172 others were involved, in this presidential pardon. And this is coming as like I mentioned, the National State Council of Nigeria and, the Federal Ministry of Justice, the Minister of the Federal Ministry of Justice also, approved of these people. It went through a whole rigorous process. They made sure that these people were actually worthy of this pardon. And this is not just something that is coming out of the blue. And even though Nigerians, are already making a caricature of the whole thing, like why is he pardoning these people? The pardon comes, from clearing some of their names. Like, the likes of Herbert Macaulay, they were being convicted, their names were being convicted of corruption. Some of them were wrongfully accused, like, the Ogoni 9, the Ogoni 4. These were people who were convicted wrongly, especially during military rule. When you're being killed, even if it is wrongly, by the books, if it is government that is killing you or the government that is convicting you, that goes along with your name, even if you are considered a hero. In the government's books, you are considered as a social person. You understand? But what this entails for this pardon is that a deeper review or a deeper research has been done into your name, and you have been considered to be free, and you have been considered to not be guilty, you have been considered innocent. It's just like, for example, when someone is being accused of being a thief and the jungle justice is being meted onto that person, and the person is killed, and then, the cops come and they say, okay, this person is a thief. Officially in the record, it will be stated that that person is a thief. But further investigation might reveal that this person is not a thief, so that person's name is being cleared. Especially as it can bring a stigma to a family name, it can bring a stigma to that person's personality. Exactly. So that was the in memory of these people, the government has considered, or the council and the committee has considered, these people are actually free and innocent of all charges. So therefore, they have been pardoned. And also, for like the inmates, some of them who were, on death row, that is those who have probably committed a very grievous crime that they are supposed to be, I don't want to go into full details of that, but they were pardoned, not like they were pardoned completely, but they were granted, life imprisonment instead of, the death row sentence. And others, who have served over 10 years with good behavior were also pardoned. Those who were above the ages of 60 and, they were having like, health situations, they were also pardoned. People who were about the age of 16 or less that are already being convicted are also pardoned. These are a long list of people who were pardoned, by the president. But it also begs the question, who else? Because apart, among the list of people who were pardoned, we have former members of House of Assembly, House of Representatives that were also pardoned, like likes of Farouk Lawal. But they also, sorry, I'm saying it also begs the question. It also begs the question. But these are the things people are asking. These are things people are putting out there in the air, saying these people are considered corrupt, even if they are remorseful and all. Aren't there other people more deserving of this pardon, than these people who are politicians? Because it's just shaping an image. We already have the image of people who are owing corruption. The young ones are growing up to say we want to be politicians because we want to also steal our own share of the national cake. You understand? And if you are pardoning these people who have been accused of corruption with hard evidence, saying they should come back to the society, to give back to the society, what image does it paint to the young ones? Oh, Farouk Lawal was convicted of, let's just not use anybody's name. Let's just say so person was convicted of corruption, and we have the live footage and whatnot, and the person has gone to prison 2-3 years, and then they are being pardoned, they are receiving a presidential pardon. Does that mean if I do the same thing, it's not just 2-3 years, come back, enjoy my billions for life? Again, these are the things Nigerians are asking. These are the questions Nigerians are raising about this presidential pardon. On one hand, it is a good thing, but then on the other hand, it's trying to serve as a reinforcer for negative behavior. Exactly. And then to our next story, FCT police arrest 12 in relation to Somto Maduagu's attack. You could remember about a week or 2 weeks ago, we did bring a report talking about the journalist, Arise TV news journalist that was killed in her apartment, which further investigation revealed that she was not killed. Yes, there were armed robbers, but she jumped from her balcony where she fell, and she was not treated in the hospital she was taken. But then the armed robbers instigated that particular move from her trying to escape, flee for her life. She does not know what could have happened to her. So the information here now is that 12 people have been arrested for her death, for the robbery, and of course her security man was also killed. Her security man was also killed in the attack. Hebi, what do you think about these 12 suspected people arrested and their confessions?
It still serves as a mystery to me how 12 people would enter a particular location, like 15 people, a particular location like Katampe, where we have high dignitaries there, we have high government officials, we have senators, we have ministers, we have governors' houses there, and such a number of people can enter a location like this to carry out such operation. And another angle I want to point to, is it because she was a popular person? That's why they even... She was a journalist. That's why they were able to even have people... What if it was only the Barnabas, the security man? Are we going to hear, have anybody been arrested? Or is it until something happens to somebody of high reputation, somebody, a known person, before we're going to see the police being active? These are people, how are we even going to... This is a country where people are being people are being accused of something. I read a few weeks ago, so one guy was saying in Lagos, he was coming back from work around 12, and he was arrested by the police, and they beat him up, and they asked him to answer to a crime he did not commit. I hope we're not seeing the same situation here. We need proper investigation. These are the people that they're up to now. We've not heard whether they've seen the car. That somebody that cannot even protect his own property. Somebody that cannot even find his own lost property, how do you expect him to come to a conclusion to a case like this? So we're putting our hopes on the police. We're begging them, we're asking them to do a proper, and we don't hope to see these people. I hope these people are not falsely accused. You are not going to force them to answer to a crime they did not commit. Guys, really, yes. Honestly, so we want factual investigation. We don't want tinini tanana. We don't want guesswork. We need proper investigation, proper surveillance, proper facts and proofs before any action can be taken. But kudos, I'll give them a good one. If it's genuine, these are the people. 15, maybe they try small. At least, at all, no bad.
Well, the report says that this raid was conducted by the Scorpion Squad of the Nigerian Police. Scorpion?
Hope so, no, be cultist squad. Scorpion,
no. They do have a tendency of giving their squads, this kind of names. It resonates just to them, so they do understand what they mean by that. And not only that, they say that they did a reconstructive reverse search, on these people. They traced them thanks to the forensics department. Not only that, it was stated that these people were apprehended at the same time. Some of them were even apprehended. Some members of the gang were apprehended on their way to another robbery in Maitama, allegedly. And that is really, really scary, that some people who just did this, how safe they feel to have conducted such a heinous crime just a few weeks back within the same FCT.
Like I always say, this is to show you how the high rise of insecurities in Nigeria, particularly in the country's capital, where it's supposed to be safe. Maitama is it's even closer to the Aso Villa, the Aso Rock, than Katampe. That's to show you how they feel comfortable. So I think we need to review this insecurity problem, honestly.
Yeah, even one of the weapons that I saw, one of the weapons that was like revealed, they led them to the weapons. I was like, wow, how did they get hold of these weapons? Well, we'll need a proper investigation how they actually, because I think it's not enough that they arrest these people. We need to ask these people, where do you get your supplies? They need to
trace these weapons back.
They need to trace them. It is not enough that they get arrested and along with their weapons being confiscated. We need to ask
employing them, giving them.
Understand? Who is manufacturing this thing? Let us know. Let us know who is responsible for this. Because at the end of the day, we are just scratching the surface.
Yes, and if we do not, solve the root cause, well, still it's just as if you are cutting the head. It's still going to grow back.
Exactly.
Well, then, like KB mentioned, kudos to the Nigerian police force for this apprehension. We do hope more of this will be seen, and Nigerians, and especially those of the FCT, would feel secure
and
in
I
their
hope
homes.
They find their car.
In their homes.
I hope they find their own car.
hopefully. And then moving on to still the police force within the FCT and Nigeria in general, the Inspector General of Police has suspended the enforcement of the tinted glass law. A few weeks back, just before October, there was a lot of outro saying, okay, there is a new tint law. You have to get a tint permit yearly and renew it. It's about 16,000 naira. You have to register for it online. This is to help, according to the Nigerian police force, this is to help them push and know those who own the tinted vehicles to stop, especially in the FCT where we have the one chance. Also in other states where we have insecurity. The Nigerian police force believes that tinted glass is one of the problems or one of the contributing factors to this particular dilemma that we're facing. But then the Nigerian Bar Association also, countered this, saying this is too much, the price is too much, and this is just a form of extortion, from the Nigerian police force. Especially that the money is not going to the nation's single treasury account. It is also will be going to a private account, Parkway, a Parkway account.
Parkway don't pack it too.
So Parkway will not pack our money, and 16,000 naira yearly is currently outrageous, because these people will still be stopped. If you're having a tinted glass, you will be stopped and then you will be started. So the criminals just have to remove their tint from their cars and move freely without being stopped.
Let me ask you this question, because these allegations are really, really serious. Mohammed, how many along vehicles have you seen with tints?
Very few.
Barely.
I rarely see that.
Exactly.
So the people you are targeting, if you say that this is basically what you are trying to stop, the people that you are targeting don't even use this format that you are talking about. So who are you targeting? You are targeting the average Nigerian who is using it to protect themselves from the rays of the harsh rays of the sun, so that it doesn't, and basically how their cars came. Basically, some people bought their cars tinted. It was full of
factory tint.
Factory tint. But you actually have to pay all this because somebody woke up one day and said that Nigerians should not breathe. Let Nigerians breathe. After
buying car, you pay for duty and everything. They'll still ask you to come and pay for tinted.
Do you understand? Glass. So I'm trying to figure out, because like you said, the rationale still beats me. But thank God they've stopped this madness, because I saw it as madness. Thank God they've stopped this madness. And I hope the people whose cars have been confiscated and impounded are returned back to the owners. And the people who have made all those payments, I hope those payments will be reversed.
Reversed.
Because this is, no, it's extortion.
It is where. It is where.
My own question is, pending the hearing of the motion on October 16th, the question is, should the courts rule in favor of Nigerian Bar Association to ban the tinted glass law, would they refund every single person who has paid for this tint? Hopefully. Would they compensate? Hopefully. Or is that money just gone? And if it is not, cancelled, because presently now, the most popular representative of the Nigerian police force, is CSP Benjamin Hundeyin. Initially, when they started the law, it was starting October 1st. When he came online, he said there's no such as a court order stopping them from from confiscating or impounding people's vehicles. Now again, he said that the IGP has sat down with the representative or delegates of the Nigerian Bar Association to talk about the lawsuit, and he said out of consideration for the interest of Nigerians and regard for the Nigerian Bar Association, they are suspending the law.
So before they were not considering
exactly. So they were not considering our interest before. Is that what he's trying to say? Because a lot of people were coming out to cry. Nigerians were out en masse online, even though because we know what happens when we protest now in this country. To avoid that, people were protesting online, and all went to deaf ears because it was like every point we were trying to make was just invalid and whatnot. But then the Nigerian Bar Association has stepped in on our behalf, and they are trying to be the middleman here because they were even giving pro bono services to anyone whose vehicle was impounded during the course of this tinted law against tinted cars. And like Barry mentioned, how many vehicles or how many of these potential vehicles actually have tint glass. What exactly are the measures they plan to do? Because we do not expect them, to share their operational directive, their operational details, but at the same time, give Nigerians a convincing reason why tinted glass will be worth 16,000. Imagine, remember, you have to pay
how much
for
did you even put the whole tint?
Exactly. You pay
how much
for
is the whole tint?
You pay for these things. You pay for the tint permits. You're still paying for car license. You're still paying for your driver's license, insurance, and other car maintenance.
Custom duty.
So is that, are they trying to say we should all park a car? Nobody should have a car if you cannot afford it? Is that not just giving the criminals a win? Is that what they're trying to say, that we should only have the criminals on the street so that they can apprehend all of them? And how many vehicles, particularly, can the Nigerian police force impound? We've seen the situation of their stations where even accident vehicles cannot be parked within the compound of the Nigerian police stations. They have to park them out on the streets. Do they actually have lands, to impound and keep these vehicles? And a lot of questions.
And I hope they stole their own car inside the headquarters. I just hope nobody's impounded car will go missing.
That car is yet to
now
be
you
seen.
Want to go and collect your impounded car and you hear they did not see it.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
You don't want to hear that one.
We are still here to hear if this vehicle stolen from the Nigerian police force headquarters here in Abuja has been caught or not. Exactly. And then moving to our next story, a very sad one here. A child herder and 36 cattle were shot dead in a fresh Plateau attack. Remember now, Plateau is known, with a history of when violence is about to start, the outright is crazy. People, citizens are affected, the innocents are affected. Students especially are also affected with this kind of situation. And then now we're hearing a child herder and 36 cattle were shot dead in a fresh Plateau attack. 13-year-old Abubakar Wada and 36 cattle were killed, while 49 are still missing. And you know how we know that Fulani people value their cattle so much. I'm not saying that the cattle's lives are of more value than the child that was killed. No, what I'm saying is that these are people's prized possessions. The same way, you have your cars, your houses, you feel are very worthy to you. The Fulani people also consider their cattle very precious to them. And then, the loss of life, the 13-year-old that was killed, even they were saying they were unknown gunmen that just came, to and opened fire on these cattle and this little boy, this teenager who is just about to start life. And it begs the question in the first place, before we go deeper into the story, what is a 13-year-old in the first place doing, in the middle of the bush, herding cattle? Isn't this child labor? What were the measures that were taken to protect this child in the first place? The child shouldn't have been. I'm not saying an adult should have been there and be killed. No. What I'm saying is this is someone's life who was just cut short. Someone should have been in school. I believe we're in school season, we're in school session.
We're in school season, but you have to look at the deep roots. Probably this economic condition that people are even struggling to eat. His parents are probably herders too. So this is somebody these are people.
This is, we know.
So this is a recycling poverty.
Honestly, and we've seen a lot of them.
His parents cannot afford education. This is what they do to survive. Probably now his parents might be at another place with another set of cows. So this is what they do to survive. So it's two wrongs cannot make a right. You know that. And we already have issue of the cows eating the farmers' plants, which would already directly affect us economically because we are going to have short supply of this.
It's not just eating. They kill the farmers as well.
Then coming to killing the cows and the herder. Now it will also affect us. It will affect our agriculture. So, and you see, we only know the beginning of crisis. Nobody knows the ends of crisis. You only know the beginning. The end you don't know. And Plateau State has been a state whereby they've had history of religious clash, ethnic clash, and we've seen how bad and how nasty it was. We do not want to see. Honestly, I'll blame the state government because when the first incidents happened, why didn't the state government intervene, mediate between these two people? Okay, what happened? What happened? You are wrong. We are going to compensate you. We should not. But they left it, and now you know how the Fulani people are. You know this is not a bygone. We are we're not praying for this, but we know how this is going. They are definitely going to retire this. Then where is that taking us to? We're already having enough insecurity problems. We're having kidnappings. We're having excess hunger. We're having high rate of unemployment. Now you see, if it's poverty, it's high rate of poverty that leads this boy not to go to school. Then now we're going to come and battle insecurity. You know how hard. This is a place that this is a place that had mass killings just a few months ago. Now we're coming to this. So I think the government are doing very poor work. very poor. And this is a place that they had crisis, and the president went there to visit, attend the funeral of his colleague's mother. He refused to pay a visit to the victims. And now we're having this. Are we going to see him? But they're not even saying anything. So far, I've not even heard the federal government. So this is a very, very bad. I think the government, I'm quite disappointed. If there's a word above disappointment, I am. Because is it until it directly affects you? Plateau is a multicultural state. There are Fulanis there are Biron people there. Now imagine this clash. How many lives are you going to lose?
I think Nigeria actually doesn't learn from her history. I feel certain things happen and we allow them to repeat. It's a repeated cycle. We've seen this play out before. We've seen herders, you know, they graze over farmers' crops, and we see farmers retaliate, then we see the herders retaliate again. It is a story we have seen time and time and time again, but yet we haven't learned our lesson. Why do I say we haven't learned our lesson? We haven't learned our lesson because we have not done anything differently. If you have learned your lesson, there are things that you do differently. We do the same things and expect different results. Now, why aren't our grazing laws working? Why don't we have ranching system, for God's sake? We are in the 21st century. We would think that certain people would have the common sense to know that this is basically what works for all parties in question, because we are tired of food scarcity. Insecurity is already be plaguing the land, for Christ's sake. We can't afford to have more food scarcity. We can't afford to have more of these insecurities.
See Benue, see Zamfara.
We have not learned from Benue.
See Zamfara, all these farmers were seeing it.
But we are doing all these things and we have done nothing different. Why isn't our grazing? Why aren't they having their farmlands to graze, so that we don't have these clashes between herders? And now we know that, okay, if there's anything, we know that there are certain people that are just miscreants. If we see any form of attacks, we know that there are certain people that are just miscreants, or it's a terrorist attack. Not that we are seeing farmers and herdsmen fighting again. It is a story I don't expect us to be telling in 2025.
Honestly, it's unethical. It's unrealistic for us to be in 2025 discussing farmers. We've already seen. Look at Katsina. You know, ideally, if we're going to believe, the closest tribe to Fulani are the Hausas. But look how bad the herder and farmer class. Then imagine what they'll do to somebody that is distant from them. Imagine how Katsina used to be. See Zamfara, where they will tell you have to even pay for you to harvest. How they kill the house, the bandits kill. Imagine
she cannot farm on her land again. They say they have claimed the land and she can't farm there.
Imagine what they will do to a distant person. Imagine how close. Well, you know, sometimes because of how intermarriage are, you cannot even differentiate. There's no way you're going to see a Hausa person that will not tell you he has Fulani roots. My great grand, because they've already merged. Then imagine what they do to them in this region. Then imagine what they do to somebody distant from them. The government needs to play. It's a very big blow to the eyes of Plateau government and the federal government, allowing this thing happening. We're already facing enough. We've seen religious crisis in Plateau. We've seen how nasty it is. We've seen how terrible it is. And now the government are allowing this happen. You know the beginning of crisis, but you don't know the end. You should tackle this thing before this thing tackle you. Honestly, it's a very, very big blow to the eye. We're not here for governors to be going to celebrate birthdays. That's not what you are elected for. You are elected for the people. You are elected to serve the people. You should not allow insecurity. This is just. We know how it's going to transpire from. If you don't tackle it, it's going to transpire from ethnic clash to religious. And we know how bad religious crisis is. And we've seen it play out in Plateau before. We are not hoping to see this. If you cannot do it, then you should seek help from the federal government, because this needs intervention before it gets worse than this.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly. And, you know, the military have also told all parties, you know, to be calm, please, that they will try and investigate it as much as they can. Because, you know, also, Mike and the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria have commented that they are blaming the Berom association. The
You see,
members,
that's what
exactly,
I'm telling you.
Fingers are being pointed already, saying that such occurrences have already happened recently, few days ago, not even far away, saying that a lot of their cattle have been destroyed. But then the Beron People as Youth Association also came out to say their farmlands were being, invaded by cattle, because these cattle graze openly.
It's the same
and
story.
their farms are not, fenced and whatnot. So they come into their farms and they eat their crops, and this is causing food insecurity within their community and society. So you see, it's more of retaliation. If these people do this to us and the security forces have not done anything, we'll take matters into our own hands. And this is now leading to loss of life. This is not just about retaliation of word of mouth and quarrel. It's causing loss of lives because it's going on both parties. If the Beron people, I'm not saying they are guilty. All I'm saying is that if the Beron farmers are attacking the cattle and the herders, if also justice is not given to them, they will also retaliate by killing their people, both innocent and guilty. This 13-year-old, even if both parties are guilty, this 13-year-old has no business
Honestly,
in this particular thing.
It's very
his life is just starting as a teen.
It's very inhuman for you to kill a very vulnerable person like that.
Exactly. Well, like the security, the military have said that they were going to investigate, and they are urging all parties to remain calm for them to get results. They should remember that it's not just about getting the result, but at the same time, swiftness and time is of the essence in this situation.
Time is very important in this situation.
And then moving on to the NDLEA, why they approve regulated cannabis oil exports and oppose local use. From the Chief Executive Officer of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired. The reason they gave it us during a summit, during his opening statement, he says the NDLEA are not opposed to science and they're not opposed to innovation and progress. After all, there are several countries out there that are exporting or making use of the cannabis oil. What he's talking about is that the cannabis oil should be exported, but not. But he raised a lot of concerns about its internal use down here in the country. Also, the Nigerian Academy of Science, they have been studying this. The story is really interesting. They did say that yes, the cannabis oil has a lot of benefits. It's being used for therapy and whatnot. But at the same time, it also has its potential negative use, especially talking about Nigeria, where we have a lot of drug users and substance abuse going on in Nigeria. So what is to say, or who is to say that the NDLEA will be able to regulate this? Already we have it en masse. We have it every day. The Nigerian police force and the NDLEA are apprehending people in bags and loads of cannabis. So if it is being legalized in one angle or one part, who is going to regulate it? The NDLEA's Chief Executive Officer did mention that this is not like the push or the welcoming of the idea for cannabis oil export is not for its commercial use. What he is saying is that it has other use. The safety and human concern is more important than whatever commercial benefit it is going to bring. But years from now, even if it is done, handled perfectly under its administration, years from now, who is to say that this is not going to be infiltrated and used negatively?
A country that have legalized cigarettes are complaining about legalizing Igbo. It's very funny. Because some cigarettes does more damage.
It has nicotine.
It does more
inside.
damage than
Do you know
than
what
this.
nicotine
Not that
does to your liver, your lungs?
You've seen how deadly it is, how cigarette is. Yes, this is legalized, but you people are complaining. And this Indian, whatever, sativa, if I'm right, sativa has a lot of components. It's used for hair growth, hair regeneration, creams. It's used for medicines too.
Yes.
Then why not just regulate this? Advanced countries that you are looking up to, a state like America, it's legal. These are people that you are copying, because I don't know if it's them you are copying. These are people we are looking up to, yet they legalize something like this. Just you should regulate it. Even now that it's not legalized. Every day that, last week that we saw a police officer with over 1,000 bricks. So now that it's not even legalized. Even though it's not legal, see the way it's flowing. So the government needs to do, rather than all these small child's play, do what is right. If you are going to regulate it, fine. But even now that you people are not legalizing it, it's still flowing. So you need to do better than come and say all this child's play, all this one that you people are doing.
I think even a Nigerian Senator Anosike, came out earlier, like a month ago, came out and said that he pushed a motion for the legalization of cannabis. And I feel it would be better if they legalized it, because it's a psychological effect, right? It's a psychological effect. if they say don't do this, you're more likely to want to do it. And I feel just the same way you walk into a supermarket, a store, you see a cigarette pack. It is just their employment right, and what they write on it: smokers are liable to
die young.
To die young. This is a cancer-causing agent sold in your supermarket. In fact, a regular malam is selling cigarettes. Regular,
everybody, anywhere you go.
Everyone is selling it. So it is something that it is everywhere. So I feel one of the things that they need to do is let it be legalized. Do you understand? And then they can be able to reduce the flow. They can be able to reduce the way it is being, and then reduce. And then I think circulars need to be put out there, really. The same way they put smokers are, they need to also know that, okay, this is because at the end of the day, scientifically, right, this is even more beneficial, right, to your system than even a cigarette. So those are curing sicknesses, those are being used for your hair and whatnot. So it's a lot of things. There's so many things that we can, and then our exports, right? So they are trying to, the funny thing is they're trying to say, don't use it here. Send it out. Don't use it. It's not us that are good for using it. It's the ones that are outside that are good for using it. You want to make revenue. What stops me from saying that the reason why I am with, if you cut me with cannabis, what stops me from saying that the reason why you cut me with cannabis is because I want to process it and sell it and export it? What stops me from saying that? So I think they need to find a way to,
they need to stand up from that tea table discussion and go to a proper table and have that discussion.
Just like you mentioned, like the issues of tobacco, likes of
vape, shisha.
Even alcohol. These are all things that are injurious to the health, and they can put people out of their senses. But at the same time, what are the measures taken? For example, alcohol now, you can just, as long as you're above the drinking age, you can go and get as many as you want. You can drink to your death. It's similar to what happens with, why did they villainize weed? Sorry, let me not say weed, cannabis. Let's use it by its name. Why do they villainize cannabis? It's the same thing that it does, that alcohol does. And cannabis now even has more positive features, whereby you can extract the oil for hair.
Yes, it's the only one among these ones that you mentioned that
alcohol,
has
tobacco,
a positive
all have negative effect. So why not look into this? Find a middle ground for this. Find a middle ground. Other countries have already legalized this. And then to our next story, back to the FCT minister, Wike. This is KB's favorite person, how to do this, an inside joke. He knows how to do an impersonation of Wike. He has scolded the AMAC chairman over arbitrary street naming. During, the flag of the construction for the road of A09 in the Asokoro area of Abuja, the minister gave warning to Mr. Christopher Mekalangu, saying he cannot be, or his office cannot be sourcing for the funding of road construction, and then Mr. Mekalangu will come and, give the streets a name, major city streets names, talking about these people are either being bribed or he does not know who comes to him and speaks to him and he renames the street. And he said the city streets are being reserved for those who contribute to the society, those who fund these roads, and also because tomorrow night the Mr. President can come out and say so footballer, so sports person would want to, or has done enough for this country and society, for the image of the country, and they will name this street after him. But Mr. Mekalangu has renamed other streets for somebody that has given him probably money, but he said this might have been done with or without Mr. Mekalangu's knowledge. But he did say he can go ahead to name local streets after whoever he wants to, those within inside, within the streets within streets, but not those, on the major roads of the FCT. And also then our next story, moving to an Abuja-bound Ibom Air passenger who was, restricted. Ibom Air, okay. The drama is always on Ibom Air. We did mention, we've heard of highway robbery, we've heard of people snatching things from traffic in car. But when it comes to, air flights, you feel totally safe. You could slip off with your phone in your hand, because after all, you're still in a constricted space. Nobody's going to steal your phone. You know everybody that is in there. Unlike a car whereby if you wind down your glass along, let's use an example, Maraba Road now, your phone would be easily snatched and you might end up buying your phone because you would see your phone being sold in that same Maraba. But this is the air. You understand? This is the flight. You would not expect something like this in a case of theft. We've heard of, plane jacking. Someone will hijack a plane and you'll be like, okay, You understand? It's terrorists, this is terrorists, that people with agenda. But having someone steal something from another person on a flight is very, very crazy. And especially on Ibom.
Very diabolical.
To steal 250, me did not
Cashback.
Cashback.
He wants cashback.
So it's laughable, but it is something that Nigerians are actually actively disgracing us. They are giving us
stole the money from a white man. So what's the impression? Anywhere he goes in his country and they talk about Nigeria, he'll be like, ah.
So you're painting a very, very, very bad picture of Nigeria to that person, because that person can't see Nigeria the same way again. The same way a lady too was harassed by police officers. She was like, Nigeria, bye-bye, I'm not coming again. She was on her way to, they were searching and they made a mess of her things. And this is someone who is just passing a normal road. And they made a mess of her things as well. So it is these memories that stick with them. And these are the memories they go and tell their people, if you go there, they will steal your luggage. They can even steal you too if you're not careful as well. And that is why a lot of bad narratives are being spread about Africa, about Nigeria in particular, because of bad eggs like him. No, I don't like
Exactly. You know, a sum of 290,000 naira. The money is not much, but at the same time, it is much. It is the symbol, what it symbolizes, like you mentioned. The image of our country and our, citizens has now changed for this foreign national. Because why would he expect someone to steal his money from, the overhead compartment in a flight? But, kudos, to the airport security and, the air host and hostess that moved in swiftly, to apprehend this guy. There was no unprofessional manhandling like I've seen, previously. So much drama. All had the Quam 1 and Barry said there was Quam 2, Quam 3. Exactly. But, there was a professional handling of the case and the matter. And also, the victim is actually not pressing any charges. So there's a possibility that the thief or the fellow passenger is going to, be released because the victim is not pressing charges.
Unlike somebody else.
The money was found. Part of the money was found on his body, and the remaining balance was found on his seat. So he was trying to cover it, but there was a body side. Also, the passengers complied, because they pointed out there should be a body side. One of the passengers was the person that said there should be a body side, because initially the money was not found in his own belongings, but when they did a body side, they found the money. So the fact that the passengers were also cooperative, they stood up for the person, saying, okay, let the person be searched. Let it not be that the person will have a full image that his money was stolen and everybody in the plane, was against him, the foreign national. So there's still hope that, the image of the country is still there. We definitely have bad eggs in society. It's normal. Not that it's normal, it's an abnormal reality that happens. It goes on. You will definitely have the criminals in the society. Yeah. But then as long as there are people who stand for the truth, those who remain law-abiding, there is still hope. And to our final story for today, which will be jumping on KB to give you the details. We had the INEC chairman who stepped down, his tenure has ended after serving his full time when I had the acting. President TINUBU has now appointed a new INEC chairman in person of Professor Amopitan. Kevin.
Hey, congratulations to you, but it's not village people that sent me, because I know he might see this and he will like, village people don't need finance. But I am disappointed in this whole issue, because I don't know how a president should be the one to appoint an INEC chairman. This is not a political appointment. This is an independent institution. Then why, even if at some point you are going to appoint INEC chairman, why not you appoint somebody from the commission, somebody who has served in the commission, a deputy director, a director, somebody who has been there. Everybody, like I said last week, everybody who is working in a place, his main aim is to reach the peak, to be the Oga Kwatapata. Why not, if it's so, then why not he should go and appoint by Professor Zakari, Abi Professor, what's his name, as the chief of army staff? Abi, is he disrespecting this institution? Then he respects that one. Have you ever heard a chief of army staff that is not an army man? Then why would he do something? Mr. Prof, whoever, the VC, have enjoyed his prime in the University of Jos, where he was serving. He was also a assistant lecturer, to the extent that he reached the peak the vice chancellor, where he was enjoying his. Then all of a sudden, you come and carry somebody and put him at the peak of somebody where somebody also has been there for over 30 years.
We're not even
looking
talking
forward.
about even the hierarchy and.
Honestly,
I'm talking about people with the experience. You carry someone who does not know anything about
election. This.
Then
come on. Does that mean the people that have
magic now to be done?
They say miracle, no, they tell Jesus. So I don't know. Is it that you disregard or you disrespect the staff of this institution, or you do not see them? You do not see everybody there as someone. You do not see anybody capable to be appointed as INEC chairman. You have to go to another institute to bring somebody to come and head somebody from another institution to come and head an independent institution. Why should the president be the one appointing INEC chairman? Why should honestly, these are questions we should ask. Why is the president the one to appoint chief judge? These are people that are going to confer judgment on you. Then why are you the one appointing them? Do you think we would see a fair election here? Yeah. Because you need to, this is not supposed to be done. There are deputy directors who have worked for over 30 years in that institution. There are directors who have worked there since they were in their 20s for over 30 years. They know what an election is. They've seen more than 4 or 5 elections. Then all of a sudden, you do not see any of them as capable. You do not see any of them as someone with experience. Then you have to go and carry somebody who has already enjoyed his prime elsewhere to come and outshine, to come and be on somebody's prime. It's unjustified. It's diabolical. It's unjustified. It's unacceptable. So we need. It's very diabolical. At this point, no, honestly, because
it is an appointment.
It's an appointment. How can the president, as now, it's just as if you did a criminal offense, then you come and choose somebody. They'll ask you. No, just as an example. Then they'll ask you to come and choose somebody. They'll tell you they'll come and choose somebody that's going to confine judgment in you. Who are you going to go and carry? I'm going to go and carry my younger brother or my elder brother because I know they're born and well. Let him do otherwise. So this is what we are seeing. You should bring somebody from the commission, somebody who has served in this commission, somebody who has been there. But why would you? Me, I don't care if it's a man, a woman, down.
Speaking of the woman,
it's not my business. But for you to go and carry an alien from another institution, it's not acceptable. Like, honestly,
I'm kidding.
It's unjustified.
And you know, still speaking of women, there are only 2 women who have served as like an acting head of the INEC. Have only been women. The only 2.
And it is only for a few days. And I'm wondering, is it that women are not capable of occupying these positions?
Again, these are questions, you know, that we should definitely be asking. Also, the president did say that this is the first person from Kogi that is not central that is coming to.
Is there no INEC staff from Kogi? Is there no INEC? Are there no directors who have served from Kogi? No. So all of them are not capable. He has to go and carry a vice chancellor that is in his own prime in another institution. It's unacceptable. Honestly, they need to do.
They say it was a unanimous decision, and the president is going to forward his name to Senate for vetting.
Unanimous. Himself.
Well,
now we don't reach that level.
No, based on behalf of me, myself, and I
appoint myself. I nominate myself.
You know, he's a Kogi national, reinforced also by the Kogi State Governor Osman Ododo. He did.
So, are you hearing?
He's a man of integrity.
Are you hearing now? The political elected people are the ones choosing the INEC. Honestly, this is a blow.
Tomorrow we hear go to court.
And this is someone who is supposed to be independent.
Independent. Is this the picture you are portraying to the international world? That, okay, you are even the ones choosing a decider for your own election. Imagine a sitting governor is telling, no, he is vouching for you. What are we doing?
The person that will mark my results.
What are we in 2025? Honestly, we're in trouble. Very serious. Maybe when he said we should hit the ground running, this is what he meant. I don't know, but probably now I have to hit the ground and run.
Again,
at this point. As in run out of the country.
Because how will the president be electing INEC chairman? So I don't know, maybe give us few.
Again, these and several issues are what the people are complaining about. Although he's a man of reputable, and he has a good reputation. Again, he is a deputy vice chancellor. He's a member of the Senior Advocates of Nigeria. He's a lecturer. He belongs in several organizations. He uprightly on his own, you know, he's a man. But then how incorrigible is he? Because we've always heard of information saying the INEC chairman is corrupt, this and that. So much, you know, discrepancies going on during elections, talking about the system is not working, it's not going as seamless as it's supposed to be. Like KB mentioned, he's someone who has, you know, achieved so much in his career. Is he the right person for the job? Is he the right man for the job? Yes, it's not just about having good reputation, but are you the right person for the job? You cannot bring a very good farmer to become, you know, someone who plants.
But we have specialists in each
So,
field.
we have people who have worked in this institution for over 30 years.
You call what they call the carpenter to do tailor work.
So,
How you
like,
want
where is
someone who knows the system is better. You know, you cannot call, like Barry mentioned, you cannot call a tailor to do a carpenter's work, you know, covering furniture and whatnot. It does not work that way. You find a professional in that field. Again, he's still going to be vetted by Senate. They are still going to go through him and see if it is really worthy or right for the job. Thank you for joining us today on the morning break as we went into so many amazing stories. We do hope you got informed, entertained, and educated. I remain Abbas Muhammad.
I'm Mohammed Kabir.
And I'm Barry to the world.